Hello everyone. Today we're going to be talking about the digits and phalanges of four different mammalian creatures. Uh, we'll start here. This is the first one would be the horse, and the second one here is the front hand of a human. This is the front right paw of the American black bear. And lastly here we have the hand of the chimpanzee. So I would like to start with the human hand, and we'll compare all the others accordingly to the human. So to begin with here, we have the carpal bones up here, which would be in our wrist. And below that, we have the metacarpals. And then down below the metacarpals are the phalanges. We have 5 digits. So the thumb is known as digit number 1. The pointer finger is digit number 2. Our middle finger is digit number 3. The ring finger is digit number 4. And our pinky is digit number 5. So comprising this lower section, we have the metacarpals. In our thumb, we start off with the metacarpal. Then we have the phalange. The phalange and the thumb has the proximal phalange and the distal phalange. It does not have the medial phalange that the other digits would have. So again, proximal, distal, and is missing the medial phalange. This is digit number 2, and that's our pointer finger. And we have the proximal, medial, and distal phalange. This is digit number 3, our middle finger. And then we have proximal, medial, and distal. This is digit number 4, which would be our ring finger. We have proximal, medial, and distal. And then digit number 5, which would be our pinky, has the proximal phalange, the medial, and the distal. So there are 5 digits, digit 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. They consist of carpals, metacarpals, and phalanges. And that is the human hand. Next we have the American black bear. And the general makeup of this is almost identical. We have the carpals, metacarpals, and then down below are the phalanges. This is the right equivalent of the right hand of the human. So this would be the thumb. So that was digit number 1. Pointer finger here would be digit number 2. Middle finger would be digit number 3. The ring finger would be digit number 4. And this would be the pinky on the bear and the human. And this is digit number 5. So we have the carpals, then we have the metacarpals, and you'll notice here on the thumb, they have the proximal phalange, and we have the distal phalange. It too is missing the medial phalange. Then we get to digit number 2, we have the proximal, medial, and distal. Digit number 3 is proximal, medial, and distal. Digit number 4 is proximal, medial, distal phalange. Digit number 5, our pinky, again proximal, medial, and distal. So 5 digits: thumb, pointer finger, middle finger, ring finger, pinky. Digit 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And thumb is missing the medial phalange, just like the human. Lastly here we have the chimpanzee. So the chimpanzee begins with carpals, metacarpals, and then we have the phalanges. Here is the thumb. This is digit number 1, digit number 2, digit number 3, digit number 4, digit number 5. Thumb, pointer finger, middle finger, ring finger, and pinky. Again, the thumb on the chimpanzee starts off with our metacarpal, but then we have the proximal phalange and the distal phalange. If you notice, just the same as the human and the American black bear, it is missing the medial phalange in its thumb. Then we get to digit number 2 with the pointer finger. We have proximal, medial, distal phalange. Middle finger, digit number 3. We have proximal, medial, distal. Ring finger, digit number 4, proximal, medial, distal, and then the pinky. Then this is digit number 5, and then we have proximal, medial, distal phalange. So as you can see, clearly it's obvious that they're very similar. The makeup is basically identical. The structure changes a little bit due to the movement of the different species, but it's very similar. So now we get to the horse. And it's interesting part of this of the horse is if a simple way to remember this is the horse basically here we have digit 1, 2, and 3. The horse walks on digit number 3. So this is the phalange. If we were to look just at this bottom section of the human hand right here, this bottom section of the horse that's exactly what this is. So here we have the proximal phalange, the medial phalange, and the distal phalange. This, in comparison with the horse, that is the proximal phalange, that's the medial phalange, and this is the distal phalange. In horse terms, this is known as the long pastern, the short pastern, and this bottom section is known as the coffin bone. And this whole section here is digit number 3, which would be our middle finger. So a horse is walking on the equivalent of our middle finger. They have one other bone here that we don't have, and you'll see in the back in the section here, this small little kind of flat bone that lodges in here, that is known as the navicular bone. So that's one slight difference between the horse and the human, but ultimately the bones are the same. Proximal, medial, distal. Horse terminology again, this is the long pastern, short pastern, and the coffin bone. And that is a quick brief overview of the digits and phalanges of the horse, the human, the American black bear, and the chimpanzee.